Hello, and welcome to another session of San Francisco by Night, Hunt of the Vigil. Tonight, we go to the waiting room of Section 9, often a refuge and place of calm. There is a gym, a game room, a lounge room, shooting range, and other things to keep the employees of Section 9 sane, as it's called. We now go into the waiting room where there are only two people. Hayrun has been sitting there for some time, and Christine has just gotten her paperwork, and she is now being released out of her confinement and is taking some time to chill in the waiting room. Scene will begin at this moment.
All right, so Perrin um is just is over in the corner sitting in one of the more comfy looking chairs. It's probably a big, like one of those big almost recliner like chairs. He's However, he's sitting up, his feet are on the ground. He's trying to look like he's relaxing, but every once in a while he's just um, glancing around nervously as his foot rhythmically taps on the ground. Bowser, of course, is, like always, right by his side, looking up at him with a little bit of a worried expression on his face as Perrin just lowers his hand, slowly scratches behind Bowser's ear.
Oh, hey. Yeah, Valentine's walking in. Still, somehow saw sleep in her eyes, even though that's not technically possible. You can tell. She walks in. Hey, they called you in too? Oh, yeah. Well, I guess
Blinks
we
and
both were
looks up
nuts.
and takes a deep breath and then seems to just let the fear and anxiety melt from him as he gives you one of his signature charming smiles and go, "Yeah, guess they wanted to open me up and see how I worked. A bit harder for me than it is for you, you know."
I Probably. Although they do have can openers. Smiles.
The question is, are they those magnetic can openers?
Dude, look at this place. Of course they're magnetic can openers.
Does that mess up your circuitry?
I don't know. I don't think it should. I think they've gotten past the point where magnets are something to be scared of.
So far in your life, magnets has not given you any trouble since your incident. However, if you walk by really, really, really high powered ones, it can F with you a bit, but it never seems to do any permanent damage.
Will not get an MRI, to say the least.
Look, I'm just thinking about back to the Futurama scene, and I want to see Christine Justice start singing um, folk songs.
I'm just stuck to back. That's how you execute the sin.
Anyways, Perrin will stand up and say, "So, I know we're not supposed to ask, but how was your session?"
Well, I'm somewhat sane. That's good. I'm not. I'm a survivor, apparently, according to Miss Frost. How about you?
Before you can ask him that, he'll take out one of those little bottle poppers and just pull it and go, "Congratulations!"
Ah, why do you just have those?
They're useful.
They make
But
for
like
great
someone
distractions.
looks around. Are you distracting me?
Looks around as well. I don't believe so. Am I supposed to be distracting you?
If you are doing a very good job.
Tilted said. Well, thank you for that compliment. That was a compliment, right?
Yes, but it's also a subject of great concern.
No, I don't believe I was distracting you. But they may, like I said, you never know when you need a good distraction. He fills around with another one.
How how often do you use those?
Well, they're kind of hard to grow, so only once in a while.
She just kind of stares at you and blinks.
He just looks back at you with this deadpan look.
Yep, okay. Uh so anyways, how'd your session go?
It was very pauses as if he's looking for the right words. Eye opening.
She tell you yeah. She really has a way of kind of making you look at yourself.
I was more busy looking at other things.
Huh.
You
I
know,
did something we did something weird. I keep thinking about it. And I don't know exactly what I just agreed to. But like I don't know. And she kind of looks around, sees nobody's around. Like, there was one point where, and I think she's tried it every time. She wanted me like do her a favor or something, but this time I don't know. Something was off, and like we were talking, and I guess we did like a favor thing. I don't know. It's kind of like how you were saying you want. It was kind of like that kind of vibe where you were trying to do me a favor, and I don't know. I guess you're some sort of wizard or something now. Because like I don't know. We just um. She
what
asked me
did you
some weird.
agree to?
That's that's not really important, but we shook hands, and I just got a really weird vibe.
Well, what did you, depending on what did you agree to?
She got something undisclosed, and I got peace of mind.
Looks at you very deadpan and go, I would never agree to give away something without knowing what you're giving away. Just a piece of advice.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Especially not to her.
You think I just got like made a deal with a witch or something?
Gives a small chuckle before going, just putting on a wry smile and say, yeah, if you're calling, oh, that's like calling a raindrop a thunderstorm. Or sorry, that's like calling a thunderstorm just a raindrop.
Huh. Well,
In fact, I was here to talk to Mr. X about his little psych eval lady.
Well, she kind of looks at you, kind of tilts her head. Wait, why would you do that?
Like I said, calling her a witch is like calling a rainstorm a drop of water. You do the math.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Ah. Well, she does work for Section 9, so it's not the worst. We'll see.
Is it not? Is it now?
Say what?
Shrugs. I loyal to Section 9. I agreed to this whole loyalty thing. It mean I'm blind. We are a group of freaks, geeks, and weirdos.
Oh, definitely.
The question is, what exactly for?
I came to think of it kind of like, because there's a lot worse out there. There's a lot worse out there. And what I'm starting to look at it as, like, I spend countless nights thinking about this. I think what we are. She kind of looks around, makes sure no one's listening. Now, this ain't exactly the place to talk about this, but we're kind of like, we're kind of pretty much just guns at this point, really. We're just here to make sure Section 9 uses us to make sure the real the uncontrolled bat shit is down. And we just happen to not really get a choice in the matter.
Raises or not even raises a eyebrow, but just gives a slight nod. And then just says, lesser of two evils.
Lesser of two evils. And at least, I mean, and I've thought about it. They really didn't have to let us have our little lives, did they? If they didn't want us to, if it wasn't advantageous, we wouldn't be happy. It'd probably be locked away, and they'd probably be like some sort of freaking Pokemon. They just toss us at something and they pull us back. So, the fact that we can walk away from here and then at least like pretend like we have like a normal life.
Oh, Mr. X couldn't keep me here if I didn't want it.
Probably not. You'd probably just keep pulling party favors out of your pocket and just eventually you'd probably win somehow through that. Kind of smiles.
Party favors, the greatest magic of them all.
Oh yeah, you can turn into a bat and teleport and shit, but can you pull a rabbit out of your hat without using innocent blood? I don't think so.
Gives a small shrug. So, how have you and the Mister been doing?
Oh, we've been doing great. We've been doing great.
When's this big honeymoon I've heard about?
It keeps getting pushed around a little bit because of our schedules, but it's as soon as possible.
Now, is it wise to go to the moon given your condition?
I asked around and so far nothing seems to be particularly weird, but I think I'll be fine. I should be fine. It's just, look, I'm not even like a full. My condition's not even the full thing, so I don't think I'm gonna like suddenly get fleas or something.
I'm more worried about Mother Luna.
How to? Who told you about? Who told you about that?
When I got back from my little vacation, I decided to do some research. You wouldn't believe how many books are out there on the different subjects. You just gotta know where to look.
So, are you saying something will bad happen if I go up there?
Gives a small shrug. No, no.
What could happen?
Now, I'm not the one person to be asking that question. And looks down at Bowser.
Are you? Kind of looks between you two. Does he like talk or something now?
Sometimes.
And not the I'm crazy and it talks, but the actual talk?
Just looks at you. You tell me.
Bowser, can you talk?
Urgh.
Okay, cool. Oh, you're like old Shaggy and Scooby. That's adorable.
Bowser starts to wag his little stub of a tail.
Speed, which we should go find Scooby Snacks.
Woof.
No, I don't
Oh,
think they have vanilla flavored.
Mm.
But
wouldn't
we
that
can
be bad
try.
for him in the first place? Or is that even applicable at this point?
Well, I don't know.
Like, huh.
I'm not really 100% sure on his biology. I haven't really looked into it too much.
I mean, I'm assuming magic just
Needs
kind of
over.
works.
Because it's magic. And gives Jazz hands.
Pretty much. Which, I guess magic's whole thing is it just kind of flips the bird to logic.
I mean, it has a logic of its own. I mean, you can't be burned by a fire if you agree to feed the fire. But then again, you have to first make an agreement with fire not to be burned for feeding it fire. Or feeding it fuel to feed the fire.
Are you telling me I could have been negotiating with fire this whole time?
Maybe. I'm not sure if it'll talk to you. He'll
that
just,
for me?
huh?
Was that for me?
Was what for you?
Oh, I thought you guys were talking to me. I'm sorry.
No, I had just said, not sure if Fire would talk back to you, to Christine, and she just gives me a deadpan stare. So, she seems to have died. Looks like Christine, who is having a blue screen, her eyes have been replaced by the blue screen.
Oh dear.
Shrugs, starts moseying his way over to the kitchen.
You go to the kitchen, and this kitchen is rather extravagant for Section 9 headquarters. There's at least 3 or 4 stoves just in general, with 4 or 5 burners on each one. Each one has burners, an oven. There's about 4 or 5 microwaves. There is a stovetop, ovens, flat tops, all sorts of things in here, and there's about maybe 4 or 5 different refrigerators, all with a lot of different stuff, and then there's a big freezer in the back.
Anyone in the kitchen? As
At the moment, no.
right. So Perrin will walk in and start rummaging around the fridges, looking for different ingredients.
Oh, if you're looking for ingredients, you'll probably find them.
And as he does so, he'll go, "Okay, Bowser, what do we want for dinner? Or is it lunch? Or is there a meal called dunch?"
About lunchtime right now.
All right, Bowser, what do we want for lunch?
Bowser opens the fridge with his nose, and he looks around, and he gets to the bacon, and he turns to you, and you hear, "Anything with this."
He'll grab the bacon. Right, well, let's see what inspires me for her bacon dish. All right, he'll pull out the bacon. He'll pull out a can of. He's going to go pretty simple here. He'll pull out some bacon, some different types of cheeses, mostly like whatever they have for cheddar cheese and that sort of stuff. So what looks to be leftover chicken and a thick thing of bread. And he's just going to start by taking out 2 pans. On one pan, he's going to slap down the bacon and let it fry up. The other pan, he's going to take the chicken, shred it, mix it with some molasses, some brown sugar, and some spices to make a homemade barbecue sauce as he starts just reheating that chicken in the sauce. As he's going to cut the bread in half, buttering each side and seasoning it before slapping some cheese on it, the bacon, and chicken, and then putting it back on the into the 2 pans. Actually, he's not going to use butter. He's going to use the bacon grease. Soak the bread in bacon grease first, and basically make two very large grilled cheese, bacon, chicken, and sun-dried tomato sandwiches.
You find that the ingredients that they have here is amazing, and that when you're done and everything is made, it is of the highest quality, and you do a pretty good job cooking it. So it's delicious.
We're going to have to come back here every. Before he actually eats, he says he puts them both in front of Bowser and goes, "Smelling blood?"
Bowser goes, shakes his head.
All right. He'll pick up one, hand the other to, leave the other one down on the ground for Bowser to start eating.
As I said, it is delicious.
Yeah. We'll have to come back here once in a while for lunch. All right. Guess I'll eat. It looks like Christine's power went out,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if she'll come back.
Yep. So she'll just be in the waiting room, and
Right.
eventually in the kitchen, another person walks in.
Right.
Rather interestingly looking dressed fellow. But there are a lot of people that do reenactments in 2077, so it's not uncommon.
Looks up, recognizes this dude as the guy who picked him up already. So he'll just go, "Howdy, Doc."
Hey, Perun, how's it going?
Well, I'm feeling a little better than the last time you saw me, so that's a plus.
Currently, the weather is storming outside. There's a thunderstorm overhead. He says, "How are you on this fine and dark, stormy night, or shall we say afternoon?"
Closes his eyes for a second, listens to this, wait, the thunder strike, and then just gives a small smile and says, "Feeling a bit at peace right now."
I always did find storms to be very peaceful.
Nods at that.
So I have to ask, what is your opinion of Mrs. Frost? I just had my first evaluation with her.
Oh God. He'll just go, "She's quite an interesting character." Wouldn't you agree?
He raises an eyebrow and he says, "Yeah, interesting. I guess that's a word for it." Awkward silence between both of you. Anyway, I have to admit, I haven't really gotten a chance to talk with you too much, Perun, but as you know, I'm Doc Holliday. Glad to have you back with us. I heard a little bit about the incident that happened. That was a bit unnerving.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
No kidding. Hey, when I
Dummy.
first heard about that, I was looking in a mirror and I'm like, oh shit, there one for me?
Who knows? From what I know, mine was more of a unique case.
How so?
Simply because it knew. Most of the time, the things that replace you don't know that they're not you. It makes the lie more convincing. And I couldn't imagine being that thing, knowing that I am not really me. that I'm just something with its memories, its personality, its ideas. Quite frightful.
He pauses a bit. Yeah, I concur with that. Jeez. City's starting to go up into a. Damn, just so much happening now. We're gonna have our hands full with the creepy crawlies at night.
Raises an eyebrow at that and goes, I know we're going to have some problems with local hunter groups, but how do you figure that'll apply to the other creepy crawlies?
Well, from what I hear, there's some weird stuff going on up in the mountains.
There's always weird stuff going on up in the mountains.
Yeah, but now it's getting to the point where they're calling in higher ups. In addition to some more hunting groups probably flocking to the outsides of San Francisco, now we've got the judges coming in.
Gives him this blank look like he's never heard the word judges.
The judges are, well, they're basically higher up than even our local police, and they have the ability to be judge, jury, and executioner on spot. It was implemented in the year 2066 when a lot of the big corporations started taking over. They started making their own private police forces. The thing is, they never come out into a city unless something big happened.
Nods slowly at this. Goes, so are judges mortal? Supernatural?
I imagine
Or-
it's probably, I imagine it might be 50-50. I'm not sure. Never met
I
one.
mean, let me rephrase that. Are they part of the mortal corporations, mortal government, or Section 9?
Well, they're not a part of us, that's for sure.
Great. So we just stay out of their way and we don't have to worry. Yeah?
Yeah, let's hope so.
If they're poking around up in the mountains.
Well, they probably came due to a lot of the problems that Power Core has been causing, but I imagine that would probably be another side effect as well. Yeah, is what's going on up there too.
Nods at this. Well, are they public record? Do we know who they're actually sending and who the judges are, or are they some sort of black mask group?
The judges are kind of a black mass group. A lot of them wear these big fancy helmets too.
Great. That's not going to cause any problems.
Oh
At least
yeah,
they'll
it's
be
gonna
easy
be.
to spot.
Yeah, they do have a very distinguished outfit. They got some of the highest tech too. A lot of the stuff they got is stuff you can't even get on the streets. Hell, some of the stuff you can't even get from private security.
Raise his eyebrow at this, and you could swear that you see little dollar signs in his eyes as he thinks about that last statement.
Kind of looks at you with a raised eyebrow. He says, well, nonetheless, we should have our work cut out for us.
Nods. Have you
What's
heard
really
any?
bugging?
Go ahead.
He says, what's really bugging me is these killings that have been happening.
killings.
Supposedly we got a lead on some of them, but haven't had much luck finding the guy since then. Apparently there's someone going around committing ritualistic murders. What's really interesting, at least according to our sources here at Section 9, police are covering it up.
That is strange, to say the least. Well, there's a police officer in the other room you might want to ask some questions to about that. But unfortunately, she's having a bit of a blue screen moment.
Yeah, no, I had a word with Miss Valentine actually earlier. I don't think she's involved in it in any way. This seems to be coming from the higher ups. And most people don't even know about the cases, so it's not exactly causing a ruckus, but they're doing a real good job of covering it up. I don't like
How
that.
high up?
If I had to guess, someone high up in one of the mega corporations doesn't want anyone to find out about this.
Nod slowly at that, thinking it over.
I've started snooping around myself, just trying to find some information, and I'd bet my money that someone high up in MODOK doesn't want people to know about these murders.
Sighs and goes, "Why is it always MODOK?"
Well, they are one of the biggest companies on the West Coast.
Nods and goes, "Still, too many strings of fate attaching us to them."
They like to put their hands in everything, don't they?
You know, the day half the new folks got hired in gestures towards Valentine's area, half their family got hired as well by MODOK Industry.
Yeah, and I hear this. Apparently, before MODOK got interested in security and all that, they were involved in military dealings.
Scratches
Big
his chin.
military dealings.
It's always security with these big places.
It's good money. Easy to do for a lot of them. Apparently, they were involved with the conflict that happened in Africa. Apparently, they were one of the main hire-outs. Actually, back when Blackwater was still a thing, MODOK owned them. And then in the year 2057, they were disbanded. But there were a lot of merc groups out there during that war. Mostly because the governments didn't want to get involved publicly. At least that's what I hear. A lot of muffled information around that conflict. You had to be there to truly get the gist of it.
Nods. Heard rumor that there were werewolves involved back there.
Yeah, I heard about that too. I'm not sure myself. I wasn't there, but from what I can understand, from some of the descriptions I was reading from some of the casualty reports, definitely sounds like a possibility.
What do you want to bet that MODOK picked up some strange and unusual things over there and brought them back over here?
I don't want to think about that. Speaking of which, when you guys went down in that underground facility, I heard that there were a couple containment areas that looked like they'd been broken out of.
Thinks back and says, "I can't remember. I think there might have been something like that, but it was quite a while ago."
Yeah. Either way, so whatever it was wasn't brought back from that conflict. Because if we've got experimental werewolves running around in the city, that's no good. City's gotten a lot bigger.
Nods at that in agreement. Then goes, or he'll say slowly, I'm still wondering who exactly funded that whole project.
I got a few guesses, but no, I couldn't pin that down. That is an
My
interesting
guess,
thing to think about, though.
if you dig deep enough, it'll go back to MODOK.
Probably, at the very least, one of the people who helped fund it. Maybe even if they didn't quite do it, they probably helped with it.
Nods.
If I had to take a guess anyway. Still unclear.
Hell, before this whole thing happened, they were even trying to get their paws into me.
How so?
Some chick I was dating was a MODOK puppet.
Interesting. Have you talked with her recently?
No, I haven't got a chance.
I see. Well. Might be nice to maybe talk with her.
Reach out.
Yeah. Maybe get some contact back with her. You never know what she might be able to tell you.
Well, next time I get a chance, I'll definitely have to do that. In fact, pulls out his phone. It's lunchtime right now. Let's see if she answers.
Indeed. Oh, and if you wanted to get some more information about the African conflict, we do have a couple survivors from it here. Miss Briggs and Miss Briggs and Miss Cyclops you can always talk to.
Nods at that. Don't we have some other people from there also? Thought Mr. Justice said he was from that too.
I don't know. I haven't talked with Nick that much. He's starting to take my look, though. It's kind of nice. I mean, I like this because I go to a lot of events myself. I just like looking stylish, but I didn't think Nick had style as well.
Oh?
Yeah.
That's certainly interesting.
Not to mention, there's a big masquerade ball that I'm going to be going to in a few weeks. Probably some leads on some creepy crawlies at night. Figured I'd go and get some information.
Masquerade like masquerade or masquerade like masquerade?
Kind of raises an eyebrow, looks at you a bit confusingly, and he says, masquerade is in masks, ball, party, etc.
Ah, I see. That seems like a lot of fun. I'll have to hit that up. Where's it happening?
He gives you the address. It's happening out by one of the rich suburb areas out in the outskirts of San Francisco, and it is the very wealthy place. There are very, very wealthy houses out here.
I'll have to pull on some of my contacts and everything to get an invite.
Yeah, from what I hear, it's they're being a little bit more open with it this year, so there's going to be a much bigger party. So you might actually have a nice little chance there.
Nods at that and goes, oh, I'll have to talk with Miss Cyclops and Briggs next time I see them. I might even hit up Nick about this whole stuff. He says
Great.
as he stands up, taking out his cell phone. But for now, I've got a lovely lady I need to check in on.
Indeed. You have a good day, Perun.
You too, you too, Doc.
He nods and then he leaves.
And I'll take out my cell phone and make a call to Bianca.
It rings 3 times, and then you hear Bianca pick up. Oh, Perun, hey, I haven't talked with you in weeks. What's up?
Hey, or let's see how I would answer. Hey, Bianca. Stuff just got real hectic around here. Figured I'd call and see how you doing.
Well, I'm doing fine. I've been dying to meet you. Why don't we do a little hangout again? Like I said, it's been several weeks. I want to see you again.
Sure thing. It seems like years on my part, but I'd love to get together. How about sometime tonight?
Yeah, sure. Where do you want to go?
I'm going to just give her a list of a little bar nearby my place.
Mhm. Sure.
Goes,
She'll agree.
how's your friend doing, by the way?
Oh, she's doing great. She's got promoted to executive of computer science.
Really now?
Yeah. She's moving up fast.
What
She
was
was
her
like,
name
you
again?
know, oh, Allison?
All right. He'll nod at that and go, well, you'll have to tell me all about it when we get together.
Oh, I will. I most certainly will. Looking forward to seeing you.
All right. He'll blow her a kiss through the phone.
You'll hear her do the same.
All right. And he'll just say goodbye and hang up.
All right. And we'll go ahead and have the camera pan away and have that particular social scene end. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been San Francisco by Night, Hunter the Vigil. I'll see you all next time.